Monica, a dedicated animal rescuer, never expected a simple call to change everything. That morning, a neighbor reached out about a dog, chained in a backyard, neglected, and in desperate need of help. Monica rushed to the scene, determined to save the dog. When she arrived, she was taken aback by what she found, what shocked Monica, and what would happen next for this poor dog. Stay tuned for today's video on pets in love and find out more. It all started on a quiet morning when Monica, a dedicated animal rescuer, got a call that would forever change the life of a dog in desperate need of help. The call came from a concerned neighbor who had been watching the heartbreaking situation unfold for months. A dog, a white fluffy creature, had been chained in the backyard of a home. The man who owned him was cold and indifferent, feeding him only sporadically and giving him little water. The dog's tiny house was falling apart, and he was left there in isolation, suffering. Monica immediately knew she couldn't ignore this. She grabbed her supplies, including a cage and blankets, and rushed to the location, determined to save the dog. When she arrived, the sight was worse than she imagined. The dog was filthy and weak, but it was his eyes that shocked her, pleading for help yet expecting nothing. What shocked Monica even more was the owner, who stood by, indifferent to the dog's suffering. She approached the man and gently asked if she could take the dog, explaining he needed immediate care. But the owner's response sent a chill through her. "I'm not giving him away for free," he said coldly. "If you want him, you'll have to pay." Monica was taken aback. She had heard of people asking for money before, but this felt different. She tried to reason with him, explaining that the dog was in critical condition, but the man remained firm, asking for an unreasonable amount. After some tense back and forth, Sarah, unwilling to leave the dog behind, agreed to his price, knowing it was the only way to get him out of that situation. With a heavy heart, she handed over the payment, and the man reluctantly unchained the dog. With the payment handed over, Monica gently unchained the dog, his weak body trembling as he stood up. She spoke softly to him, trying to reassure him that he was safe now. But the dog hesitated, his eyes still locked on the man standing in the yard. For a moment, Monica stood still, watching him. The dog didn't move, as if waiting for some sign from the man, a word, a glance, anything. His eyes were full of hope that maybe, just maybe, the owner would show some warmth, some affection, but there was nothing. The man stood motionless, cold as ever. Monica gently pulled on the leash, guiding the dog away from the yard. With each step, the dog turned his head back again, looking toward the house and the man, as though still expecting something, anything from him. But the owner didn't react. There was no apology, no remorse, just silence. The dog's confusion was heartbreaking, and Sarah's heart ached for him. It was clear he had spent so long hoping for a kind word or a touch that he still couldn't believe his rescue was real. "You're safe now," Monica whispered softly, tugging him gently towards her car. The dog hesitated for a moment longer, but finally, he followed her. As Monica called him away, the dog glanced back one last time, and this time, Monica could see it. The flicker of resignation in his eyes. He wasn't just hoping for the owner to come around anymore. He had finally begun to trust that he was leaving that life behind. The journey to healing had just begun. At the veterinary clinic, Monica watched as the vet examined the dog, grimacing at the sight of his condition. The dog was malnourished, severely dehydrated, and covered in sores from untreated infections. His fur was falling out in clumps, and the few patches that remained were tangled and dirty. The vet sighed deeply, beginning the necessary treatments right away. "This poor thing has been through a lot," she said as she gently started cleaning his wounds. "We'll need to monitor him closely, but he'll need a lot of care." Monica stayed by the dog's side throughout the entire process. Every day she visited him at the clinic, bringing him food, clean water, and soft blankets. She sat with him for hours, speaking gently to him, never pushing him to trust her too quickly. At first, the dog was terrified and would shy away from any human contact. But over time, Monica's patience started to pay off. The dog slowly began to recognize her as a source of kindness, not pain. His tail, once limp and unmoving, began to wag when she entered the room. It was a small victory, but it felt like the first real sign of hope. As the weeks passed, the dog's physical condition improved. His fur began to grow back, although still patchy and thin. He regained some strength, slowly gaining weight and walking more confidently. Monica could see that, despite everything he had endured, the dog was beginning to heal. The emotional scars were harder to heal, but Monica continued to be patient, offering him affection on his terms. He began to seek her out, allowing her to pet him and give him treats. He wasn't completely healed yet, but it was clear he was on the right path. Then, just as the dog was becoming stronger, something unexpected happened. One afternoon, as Monica sat with the dog, her phone buzzed with a message from the neighbor who had originally called her. The message was unexpected and unsettling. The man who owned the dog was trying to reclaim him. But as Monica read further, her heart sank. It turned out the dog wasn't just neglected by an indifferent owner. He had been stolen years ago. The original family, who lived in another state, had been desperately searching for their dog after he was taken from their yard. They had never stopped looking, and after seeing the dog's picture on social media, they recognized him immediately. The dog, once loved and cared for, had been stolen right from their home and was now living a life of misery under an abusive owner. This new information left Monica with a difficult decision. The dog's original family was eager to reunite with him, and they had been searching for years. On the other hand, Monica had spent months building a bond with the dog. He had come so far under her care. He was finally healthy, happy, and trusting again. Would it be fair to take him from the home he had come to know and return him to a family he hadn't seen in years? Monica wrestled with the dilemma. Her heart told her to keep him, but the original family had a right to their dog. She spent sleepless nights thinking about it, wondering what the right thing to do was. The vet and her colleagues were supportive, but some believed the dog should return to his rightful family, while others thought he had finally found peace with Monica. Then, just when Monica was on the verge of making her decision, the original family showed up at the clinic. They had driven across several states to meet the dog. And as they stepped into the room, the dog's reaction was not what anyone expected. He didn't rush to them, tail wagging like they had hoped. Instead, he hesitated. His eyes flicked between Monica and the new people in front of him. It was clear he was torn. Monica watched quietly, heart in her throat, as the dog slowly approached the family. He sniffed them cautiously, but there was no joyful reunion. He was confused, uncertain about the love he had once known and the trust he had built with Monica. After a few moments of awkward silence, the family spoke up. They explained how happy they were to see their dog, but they understood that he had been through a lot. They also recognized the bond he had formed with Monica, and instead of demanding the dog be handed over immediately, they made a surprising offer. "We don't want to tear him away from you," the original owner said. "We understand that he's been through so much, and we're willing to make an arrangement. We'd like to adopt him, but we want you to stay in his life. We want you to visit, and we'll keep in touch. He's been through enough, and we want him to feel safe." Monica was taken aback by their understanding and compassion. It wasn't the solution she had expected, but it felt like the right one. She agreed, feeling a sense of peace knowing the dog would have the love of his original family and the continued support of the woman who had helped him heal. In the end, Max, as the original family named him, thrived in his new home. He had the best of both worlds: a loving family who cherished him, and a rescuer who remained part of his life. Monica would continue to visit him, always a part of his journey. Max's scars, both physical and emotional, no longer defined him. He was a happy, healthy dog who had finally found a place where he belonged. And Monica, though her heart ached at the thought of saying goodbye, knew she had made the right choice. Sometimes, life doesn't turn out the way we expect. But sometimes, the unexpected twist can lead to the most beautiful resolution of all. Thank you for following Max's incredible journey. From the darkest moments of neglect to finding his way back to a loving family, his story is a reminder of the power of compassion, patience, and second chances. What would you have done in Monica's shoes? Do you think it's more important for Max to stay with the family that helped him heal, or should he return to his original home? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you find our video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Finally, don't forget to turn on our bell and subscribe to our channel Pets in Love, so you don't miss any of our new videos. Thank you for your support. Wishing you all peace, happiness, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.